Jelaila Starr, and this is the 4th segment in the series on Nibiru. And today I'm discussing why the Nibiruans disconnected 10 of our 12 DNA strands. To understand the Nibiruans' perspective, you have to go back and look at the family dynamics, because the family dynamics and issues on Nibiru played a very big role in the decision to disconnect DNA. So I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. The current ruler of Nibiru at that time, and who, by the way, is still the ruler of Nibiru, is Anu. Anu had 2 sons, Enki and Enlil. The issue began when they changed succession rules from firstborn to first seed. Enki, who was the firstborn, but of an alliance marriage, not a sister wife, would have been the ruler of Nibiru. Instead, his younger brother Enlil, who was born of Anu's sister wife Antu, became the heir to the throne. When they came to Earth as adults, the issue of rulership really wasn't that big a deal, partially because Enki, who was a master geneticist and scientist, really didn't have any desire to rule. So he was happy to leave that to his brother Enlil, his half-brother Enlil, who was actually quite gifted at it and very good. So the problem came with their children, Marduk. In particular, Marduk was Enki's firstborn son, and he was probably the most gifted of the grandchildren in the fact that he was both a master scientist, he was an architect, he was a master politician, he was pretty much good at anything, one of the most gifted of all the Nibiruans, and he would have made a fantastic leader, and he was very compassionate. On top of that, he promoted the cause of the Earth humans in the councils on Nibiru. So he was very pro-human at the same time. Now, because the issue was mostly the fact that he did not agree with the change in succession rules, which basically cut his father and therefore him out of rulership. So he decided to go against his entire family to gain control of Earth and Nibiru. And he was supported by his wife, who was a dragon queen, or dragon princess, from a group that had gone underground thousands of years before and had survived the destruction of Tiamat, and his mother-in-law, who was a queen, a dragon queen from the same group. And you might know of them. They are, if you've ever read the Lacerda files from the same group, they've been around on Earth for a long, long time, and therefore they think of Earth as theirs. So, backed up by his wife and his mother-in-law, and the fact that he believed he should have been in line for rulership on Nibiru, he decided to wage war against his own family. Now, when all the grandchildren came along, Anu, I'm going back for a moment, decided to sit down with Enlil and Enki and say, we need to divide up Earth again, because before that Enlil was given rulership of all of Earth except for the oceans and the country of Africa, so, or the land of Africa, which were given to Enki. So they decided to take more of the land and divide it up into city-states, and Marduk was given Babylon, which is in modern-day Iraq. So the Nibiruans had a spaceport where they would launch all the rockets or the shuttles back to Nibiru, or to the base on the Moon or Mars in the Sinai Peninsula. So in Marduk's new war against his family, he could not use the family's spaceport, so he had to create his own. So he began to create a spaceport in ancient Babylon, which was his area, and that is now known as the Tower of Babel. And he enlisted the aid of numerous humans in this job. When Enlil caught wind of what was going on, he was the one he was the god in the Bible who decided to, well, I have to come down there and confound their languages. Well, there's actually more to the story. Yes, he did do that, but what he did that because he realized that if Marduk succeeded in this war, there'd be a lot of collateral damage. A lot of humans would die. a lot of Nibiruans would die. And it was just, didn't make a whole lot of sense. So he knew that, you know, if he did, the best way to stop Marduk, because Marduk couldn't do it on his own, was to stop his ability to use a workforce. So he brought a virus that he spread amongst the humans. This virus would turn off some of the DNA codes, thus disconnecting 10 of the 12 strands. And what that did then, it caused, humans were telepathic until that time, I'm told, and it disconnected the telepathy, and that was one of their main ways of communicating. So that is what you would call confounding the languages. They had to develop new ways of communicating. And over time they spread out into other areas of the world and developed their own, formed their own groups, which developed into nations and countries and so on and so forth. That happened over a period of time, but initially that virus came, it was designed to switch off some of the codons. So that's how he confounded the language, and he did delay Marduk's plan, not completely, because Marduk succeeded in 2200 BC and he did win, but he delayed it. They delayed it for a while. So the thing that they wanted us to know is that even though they disconnected 10 of the 12 strands, they switched off the codons, they had agreed that when we developed spiritually to the point that we could handle that kind of power, that would give us back the ability to reconnect our 12 strands. And they have done that. They gave me the formula of compassion, which activates the thymus, which is the key to switching on the codons. And you can find that for free on our website at www.nibiruancouncil.com. So, long story short, they did it to keep us alive, and they promised that and when the time came that our spirituality had caught up with our technological ability, they would give us back they would give us the key to unlock our DNA. And the thing I wanted to share also was that when they did this, Enki made certain, it was in Lil's command, but Enki was the one who created the virus. They somehow managed to encrypt the DNA to where no other off-world group could come in and tamper with our DNA. They could not recompile it. And as you have seen, we have gone down. That was the fall of man. We went down in consciousness, and we're starting to come back up, but no one's been able to recompile our 12 strands of DNA until now. So the formula of compassion is the key that decrypts the DNA and recompiles it. So here we are. They fulfilled their promise, and now they're helping us through the DNA recoding process. Okay, so that's it for this segment. Hopefully that'll answer a few questions and give you an opportunity to research and see if there's any validity in what I have to say. Okay, until next week, I'm Jelaila Starr. Take care. Bye-bye.